So right now we have RIM has really moved at a greater level. We've been working with intergenerational trauma probably for 15 years, maybe 20, but we haven't really talked about it a lot because it wasn't popular. But now that people are open to it, then we're actually acknowledging how effective it is to heal generational trauma because we do know from the research that it can be genetically passed on to our children. It's always whatever the generations going back in time that we've focused on, but whatever work we do going back in time through our lineage flows from us into our future generations.
Yeah.
So it's really very important work.
Because there's so much there. I feel like for some of us, that can mean there's a lot of pressure on us. So then I'm very thankful that there is something like RIM where I don't have to spend 10 years in talk therapy trying to find something that is asking to be healed, but I can just go directly there in 1, 2 sessions.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's remarkable. Like, because I just completed a 6 day in-person class in that it was primarily focused on intergenerational healing. And it was so profound because what happens is we actually, in the end, develop compassion for each generation with what they were dealing with and what resources they had to deal with it and what their true intention was, so that in the end, the amount of compassion that flows for us into us is just immense. It's really immense. And so, and we were working, we had clients that were, or students that were Jewish, one with from a Polish descent, and Irish descent. So it was fascinating how that all works, how it all works together. And you don't even have to have a specific heritage for it to be powerful. It could be what do they call it? A Heinz 57 dog. You can have, you can have a whole, you can be a mixture of all kinds of cultures. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it was your relatives, your specific relatives that like go back sometimes to the Depression, the Great Depression, or even into back it to the places where there were wars, but it wasn't about a particular culture war.
Right. Well, having grown up in Germany, I remember a very strong sense of
Mm,
communal guilt.
hmm hmm
So I remember even my friends' parents talking about it and talking about how the population basically was overwrought with guilt of what had happened, although they hadn't done anything. And at the time, I just thought, oh, that's so heavy. Yeah, so I think that was my first introduction to what sort of generational trauma was. And of course, I was maybe 8. So I didn't know anything about the fact that that was actually genetically passed
Right.
down. And it wasn't just something in the air, it was actually something with us.
Exactly, exactly. In fact, in this training, we did have a German woman here, as well as the Jewish man who went back, to the Holocaust and even earlier slavery. And so, yeah, it's such profound work, and it is so needed at this point in time for us to come together as a human race and and evolve ourselves, into better human race.
Yeah.
Um, it's
Yeah.
really, it's just really what is about right now.
It feels like it's becoming more urgent in some ways.
I feel great urgency about it, because of the work
Yeah.
uh, that, and also because that I'm older. and that this work has to get done as fast as possible, both for me, so I before I leave the planet, but also for the world and for our world, our individual worlds, to be better. You
Yeah.
know, I think it's really felt by every person these days in
Yeah.
one way or another. One
Yeah.
way or
Yeah. Yeah. I remember two of the generational healing room sessions that I've done. Both of them ended up with me wrapping both my daughters in white protective light. And
Mhm,
I often go back to that moment and
mhm.
just relive it and allow myself to just be in that moment. It's one of those times where I felt like my work that began as work for me actually now was able to be passed on. And it
Yeah.
wasn't just for me. It is actually something where I was able to um, make an impact for
Mhm,
future generations, future descendants.
mhm.
It's really,
Yeah. Yeah, it's very powerful. That's
mm,
right.
yeah,
Because it does go both ways.
yeah,
And so it was very, it is empowering.
mhm,
So just knowing how doing our own intergenerational session helps us feel different.
yeah,
Just that alone, it gives us huge evidence that we don't have to suffer, that these things are, this kind of healing is possible more quickly and easily than we've ever imagined.